Dan Jovevski, the founder and CEO of WeMoney. My journey to WeMoney was really interesting. I spent a majority of my childhood not even thinking about finance as a topic that I was really interested in, but somehow I was drawn to it in undergraduate studies. I went to work for the banks for a couple of years and then started off my first entrepreneurship journey in 2012 with a company called Switch My Loan that was in the mortgages space, and saw the problems that a lot of Australians were going through when they were looking at optimizing their finances. We exited that business in 2016, and I learned a lot about behavior with consumers and how they manage their money, and felt like there was a really big gap, in particular for Gen Z and millennials, to really understand their money in a very easy way and to help them live their best financial lives. WeMoney is a social financial wellness platform that's aimed at Gen Z and millennials to help them understand their money in a very easy way. We do that in 4 key steps. Number 1, our members get to connect to all their accounts and see that all in one place. You also get to track and monitor your credit health. The We in WeMoney is this passionate community of individuals that are sharing these hints and tips to help people accelerate their financial wellness together in a very safe and well-lit location. And then finally, we help our members optimize their current financial products. So a story of Emma, she's 35 years old, she comes to WeMoney, uncovers that she's paying an excessive amount on, say, her personal loans. WeMoney presents her with opportunities to refinance and consolidate her debts into one simple to easy managed repayment that puts $200 back into Emma's back pocket so she can focus on the things that are very important to her in her life. WeMoney's gone from strength to strength over the course of the last 22 months since we've launched in October of 2020. So we've grown now to over 350,000 downloads, and we built a team of amazing legends here, what we call WeMos at WeMoney, that have helped contribute towards really solving this pain point for a lot of Gen Z millennials that find it very difficult to manage their money. We've also raised $9 million to date from prominent venture capitalists, family offices, and other really awesome fintech entrepreneurs. Seeing WeMoney being used natively in the wild, I still remember it like the back of my hand walking through Garden City Shopping Centre and seeing somebody pull out the WeMoney app. It becomes really real when you see like real people casually just opening up your app and using it, thinking, wow, like you've created something in the world and now you've seen that in the wild. And that's when you kind of know that you're affecting a lot of people and you're helping them manage their money. When they're going shopping and they're thinking about how much money do I have to spend on groceries this week, let's go check out the WeMoney app. And I think for us, yes, it could have been the fundraising, it could have been building a team, it could have been scaling, it could have been all those things, but the impact that we can have is an absolute, it's just electrifying to see that, see something you've created in the wild being used. It's very gratifying. One of the biggest challenges in WA, of course, that all founders know this, is fundraising. We have a very limited pool of investors and funds that focus on early stage startups, and there's been a bit of a dearth in that space. And so for us, we weren't immune to that. Even as a second-time founder, with a small track record, that really didn't go as far as one would think. And so we had to become really creative around how we fundraised. And funny enough, the first company or the first institutional investor that backed WeMoney was a fund out in Queensland. And it was a serendipitous conversation with somebody that I'd known for a couple of years. I met through my travels. He came to Perth one day and I told him about the vision of what WeMoney is and simply asked him, would you invest? There was a moment of pause for about a minute. And he goes, yeah, it's something that we'd look to invest in if the opportunity is right. And lo and behold, they became one of our first investors. Also, I think the thing that really surprised me across the fundraising journey initially when we raised our first 500 grand seed round is that the people that had known me the longest are the ones that said yes the first. In fact, we only asked 6 people to raise our first seed round, and 5 people said yes, which was a massive testament, I think, to having long-term relationships with people that you've worked with closely, that have seen you at your best and sometimes seen you at your worst, but willing to take a bet and back you and back an idea and bring that to life. So that, I think, for a lot of other WA founders is a big challenge, right? Where are you going to get the initial capital from in order to start a business? And I think a lot of the community have come together right now. You've got things like the +8 program, you've got other accelerators that help and support, and the ecosystem has got so much more vibrant over the course of the last 3-4 years, which is something that I certainly didn't see when I was a first-time founder. When I was a first-time founder, I only had me and my 4 walls and access to an internet connection and a few articles online about this process. One of the biggest advantages of being in Perth is that we are a state of entrepreneurs and always have been, and pioneers. And I think that spirit is instilled in everybody that wants to give it a go. We've had plenty of great success startups here in WA. And I think that also flows into, talent that also wants to give it a crack, which is, absolutely awesome. The second thing I would say is lifestyle. I mean, there is no other better place. This is the best kept secret. I don't care what anybody else says. WA is got the best lifestyle. We've got one main highway, one street in the CBD. Everything is a stone throw away and a 15-minute drive, for most people, which is really convenient. I personally have a family, so a family life is incredibly important to me, and having the ability to come home and see my kids or see my wife and hang out with them, quickly and easily after work is absolutely a pleasure. One thing about Perth, and I guess the startup community in general, which is really amazing, is that everybody is here to help everybody. Anytime that I've asked for introduction to somebody else, there's never been any hesitancy. And I think that's something that's part of the startup journey ethos, is this concept of paying it forward. And paying it forward is really important for not just, WeMoney and other startups that are on the journey, but for the generation that will come after us. And that's something that's very, I think it's an unwritten rule, it's an unwritten law as part of the community here in WA, which is really awesome. We're kind of all in together. We do have some healthy rivalry with the East Coast, which is fantastic, which basically means we get to help each other a lot more to achieve the things that we want. So I think the community is flourishing. It's only getting from strength to strength and getting bigger every single year. WA is obviously home to some amazing inventions, amazing innovation, a lot of startups, be that from like hardware or old tech now into new age tech. It's a net positive place to be, right? And I couldn't think of a better place in Australia to start a business and do something that's extraordinary. This is the best place to do it. As I've said before, the best kept secret by far. In fact, I don't want to talk about it so much because it will attract probably more people, but that's all good too. If you're thinking about starting a business here in WA, do it and you won't look back.